Hello everybody, Italy back again with another video. Oh boy guys, the draw is out. The Australian Open draw is out. Finally guys, finally. Even though it was one day that they too late, the draw should have come out on Thursday, but we all know because of that pandemic thing that happened back in Melbourne, the draw has been late one day, but finally it is out, it is here. I have seen it, I have analyzed it. It is not easy guys, trust me, it is not easy to make up my mind who will go to the quarters, who will go to the semis, who will lift the trophy. Tennis is not an easy sport to predict. If that was the case, I would be a rich man, which I'm not. But my tennis brain, I have analyzed and analyzed and analyzed and analyzed and analyzed, and finally I have come up with my top 8 list, which I always do when I do my previews in the big tournaments like the Grand Slams, of course, are. Ah man, this was not easy. I have digged in and digged in and digged into this draw and just had all kind of scenarios, what kind of matches we can have, what kind of upsets we can have, and so on and so on and so on. But finally, I have made up my mind who my top 8 favorites are, who the quarterfinals matches will be, semifinals, finals, and in the end, who will be the last man standing. And of course, all these things that I will say in this video, all of these things will not be right. The funny thing, the exciting thing with all this, for me at least, is when the tournament is over, how many rights I have had and how many wrong I have had. That is the most exciting thing for me, besides the tennis, of course. And without any further ado, guys, let's get into this list. And you guys who follow my channel knows that all of these 8 players I will mention, I think that one of these 8 players will win the tournament. And as higher you are, as most likely I believe you will win it. As higher you are on the list, I give the players as most chance to win the event. As lower you are on the list, say you are at 8th place or 7th place, you still have the chance to win the event, but I don't believe the player who is number 8 or number 7 as much as I believe players who are number 3rd, 2nd or 1st. I believe that you are getting my point. So don't come up here later on the comment section and say you are being disrespectful to this dude or to this dude. All the players who are not on this top 8 list are the players I don't believe they will win the event. So those players, I am not believing they will win the event. But the players who are on my top 8 list are the players I believe one of these 8 will win the event. And of course, as higher you are, as greater chance you have to win it. I believe you are getting my point by now. Alright guys, let's get into this. On my number 8 place on this Australian Open 2021 tournament that just is around the corner, I have Jannik Sinner, the Italian dude who has won his first ever tournament last year back in Sofia, who is really talented, who is really a hit. He hits the ball really clean from both wings, forehand and backhand, have a really decent serve. He can improve that serve. Of course, he's young, he's 19, 20 years old, so he has time to improve really. So, but I have looked at his draw. His first match opponent, his first round is against pretty high player, Denis Shapovalov, who is really talented as well. That is a popcorn match, really. Of course, that match can go either way. I will not be surprised if Denis wins. I will not be surprised if Jannik wins. But I have a feeling that Jannik Sinner, he will come through Denis Shapovalov. Denis Shapovalov, for me, he just is a hit or miss player. He's like a Christmas present. You open the box and you never know what you will get. And this is a perfect opportunity for Yannick Sinner to really do an upset here. I think that he can definitely take out Denis here. I would not be shocked, I would not even be surprised if Yannick Sinner defeats Denis Shapovalov. And I believe he will do it. Denis Shapovalov is a player who just gives so many presents, who gives so many gifts. He is a player who will do the most job for his opponent. He is an expert of beating himself. He is an exceptional talent, but he doesn't know how to construct points. He doesn't know when to pull the trigger. He doesn't know when to be patient. He doesn't know what shot tolerance is. He doesn't know when to hold, when to just play solid ground strokes from the baseline and wait for a short ball. He just rips it, and the ball, he believes that every single ball that comes to him is a potential winner. Somebody needs to talk some sense with that dude. And if he can win against Yannick Sinner. Absolutely, he can. But he needs to know how to construct points. And I believe that Denis Shapovalov is in big danger to lose his first round match against Yannick Sinner. The match can go either way, but I have Yannick Sinner coming through. And then Yannick Sinner, he really has not that tremendous of a hard path to a quarterfinal. Because you guys, you are getting that the 8th place to the 5th place is players I believe will go to the quarterfinals, and the highest quarterfinal number, which is number 5, is the player I believe the most of these quarterfinals opponents who can be in a semifinal. Because it is not any coincidence why I have a quarterfinal player as high as number 5. So Yannick Sinner I have as number 8. Why? Because I believe that all of these quarterfinal players from the 8th place to the 5th place, I believe that he has the least chances to win his quarterfinal match. That's why Yannick is on my number 8th place. Anyway, I have Yannick Sinner on my number 8th place. We go on. On my number 7th place, I have Andrei Rublev. And some of you maybe believe, why do I not have Andrei Rublev higher than this? Look, guys, Andrei Rublev has done a tremendous, great the last couple of 12 months. He won 5 titles last year. We all remember he won most of all the players' tournaments. 5, even though he didn't win any big one, he didn't win any Slam or Masters, but he still won 5 titles last year, most of all the players. That is impressive. And he has a decent draw, in my opinion. He doesn't have a murderous path to a quarterfinal. And I expect Andrei Rublev to go to a quarterfinal clash. But when he is in that quarterfinal stage, he has been in these quarterfinal stages on this high level in these slams 3 occasions in the past. 2017 against, if I'm not mistaken, against Rafa Nadal. It was a total different Andrei Rublev back then, 4 years ago. But he didn't have any chance. He lost in straight sets, I remember, against Rafa Nadal back in 2017 US Open. And then he was in 2 quarterfinals appearances in this level in the slams last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe he was in quarterfinal in the French Open, lost against Tsitsipas. Pretty convincingly a victory for Tsitsipas there. 3 or 4 sets, if I'm not mistaken, in French Open last year. And then also he was in US Open, also quarterfinal, against Daniil Medvedev. And Daniil Medvedev, he defeated Rublev in straight sets last year. So, Rublev is really in great shape. Maybe he's playing his tennis of his life. Maybe. Probably he is. And he's done some great results in the ATP Cup so far as well. Not lost any match so far. But when he's in that quarterfinal, he will face Daniil Medvedev there. So, and yes, the head-to-head is 3-love to Daniil Medvedev. Actually, Rublev has never taken 1 set against Daniil Medvedev. So, Rublev, he has a really difficult quarterfinal opponent most likely, if Medvedev goes to the quarterfinal, which I believe he will do. So that's why I don't have Rublev higher than on my number 7, but I have him on my 7th place. That is pretty high. He's still on my list, and he needs to do. He has a big challenge ahead of him in a potential clash against his countryman Daniil Medvedev in that quarterfinal. So Rublev is on my 7th place. On my 6th place, I have Alexander Sasha Zverev. Yeah, the German guys, the semi-finalist from last year. He was the semi-finalist in the Australian Open last year, lost to Dominic Thiem, if I'm not mistaken, in 4 sets, and also played his first ever Grand Slam final last year against Dominic Thiem in US Open. Lost there a tight 5 battle, was only 2 points away of winning his first ever Grand Slam title last year in US Open against Thiem. Zverev, we all know when he serves really good, when he lands a lot of first serves in, he lands bombs, he lands rockets, guys. It is almost, he's unbreakable. When he serves over 70% first serves in, you cannot touch his serve. His issue, we all know, it is his second serve. It has been an issue, it has been a problem for him for the last couple of years, 2 years for sure. So he still has that first serve. So when he lands that first serve, he will land over 60% first serves in, and he will take good care of his first 4 opponents, I believe, because guys, we know that the slams are a big draw. We have 128 players in the draw. You have time to play yourself into shape. You will face most likely the first couple of rounds, qualifiers, wild cards, lucky losers, you name it, etc., etc. So Zverev will have time to play himself into shape, and he's done some great. He has done some great results in the ATP Cup. He has taken Germany so far to the semifinals, defeated just Serbia earlier today. Even though he lost against Djokovic in a close three-setter, but he pushed Djokovic pretty good in that match. So it was not that Djokovic crushed Zverev. So I believe Zverev, he has the game, he has his first serve, he has his consistency from the baseline. He's a pretty clean ball striker. He moves pretty solid, not exceptionally good, but he moves pretty solid from the baseline. Has a great backhand. His forehand can sometimes go into vacations, but his backhand is more or less rock solid. His backhand doesn't let him down way too many times, but his forehand can do that sometimes, like I said. His issue is his returns, in my opinion. It is his second serve, but he has a big game. He is top 8 in the world for a reason, guys, and his draw is decent. I believe that Zverev can make it to a quarterfinal appearance, and that's why I have him as my number 6 in my number 6th place. On number 5 place, guys, here, and this player is the highest of my potential quarterfinal players. That's why he's on number 5 place. Do you remember what I said in the beginning of my video? As higher you are on my number as a quarterfinal player, as more I believe that you have a big chance to win your quarterfinal match. And on number 5th place, I have Stefanos Tsitsipas. Yeah, guys, I've been impressed from Stefanos Tsitsipas here in Melbourne so far in this ATP Cup. He has won all of his matches in straight sets. He has looked really sharp, serving good, hitting that forehand really clean, returning solid, not great. His return is a weak part in his game, and so is his backhand as well. But he has been returning some solid returns. He has been hitting some solid backhands, and can improve his returns and his backhand, absolutely. But his big weapons are his serve, is his forehand, is his attacking game style. He approaches the net a lot and does it with success, more yes than not. And what I've seen from Stefanos Tsitsipas so far this year, I've been liking, guys. I've been liking his game. And he didn't have the greatest season last year, 2020. And he has not started the season in 2021 like he ended the season in 2020. For sure. He has started the 2021 much better, guys. And I believe he has a good, decent draw. He should come through his four opponents. Yeah, he can be challenged. Of course, he can be challenged in the second or third round. Absolutely. This is professional tennis. Everything can happen. We should not forget, guys, tennis is a sport with really laser thin margins. Laser thin. The margins are laser thin, guys. So everything can happen. Big money is on the stake. Qualifiers, lucky losers, wild cards, when they get the chance to play in this event, this is a big thing for them. To win one match for a qualifier in the main event, it's a big thing. That can save the entire season, guys. That can save their entire season. So, but I believe and I expect Stefanos Tsitsipas to come through to that quarterfinal. That's why I have him as my number 5th player on this top 8 list. All right, guys. So we are done with the quarterfinal players, huh? Number 8 place, Jannik Sinner. Number 7 place, Andre Rublev. Number 6 place, Alexander Zverev. And number 5th place, Stefanos Tsitsipas. Now we go into the semi-final stages. Number 4th place. Who is my number 4th player, guys? Yeah, and this was for me to choose from 4 to 1 here. For me was the toughest. I promise you guys, I have thought the 8 to 5 for me was more easy decision. From 4 to 1, it was a brutal decision for me. It is so hard because they are so close against each other. They all can beat each other 4 to 1 place. It is all about who has the better day on that given day, who will perform the best on that given day, etc., etc. But I have finally made up my mind. I have taken my decisions, and on my 4th place is Rafael Nadal. Yeah, guys, I have Rafael Nadal as a semi-final candidate. I know that Rafael Nadal, he's a monster the first week. I don't care that his back is stiff. He has not played any single match in the ATP Cup so far. His only match in the 2021 season has been an exhibition match against Dominic Thiem, which he won in straight sets. I just think that Rafa is really cautious. He's really careful. He doesn't want to take any big risks. I don't think he's maybe not 100% healthy, but I think he's 95, 98% healthy. And a Rafa Nadal, 95, 98% healthy, he'll smoke his 4 opponents. He'll smoke them. And he has a really good draw, to be quite honest. He doesn't have any big names the first couple of rounds. I believe he had a qualifier the first round, if I'm not mistaken. The first seeded player he can potential play against, I believe it was Fabio Fognini in the 4th round, potentially, but I don't think Fabio Fognini will even be in that 4th round to begin with. Who are the ATP Tour's biggest Santa Claus guys? Fabio Fognini, Denis Shapovalov, Ben Pierre. Have I forget someone? Yeah, probably I forget someone. Gael Monfils. We never should forget Gael Monfils. These 4 players are the ATP Tour's biggest Santa Claus. And if someone, because I got a question, what do you mean with Santa Claus in tennis terms? Because we all know Santa Claus is a fat dude to give presents to small children. I mean Santa Claus in tennis terms, players who are the best players in the world of defeating themselves. And who are those? Denis Shapovalov, Gael Monfils, Ben Pierre, Denis Shapovalov, Gael Monfils, Ben Pierre, and Fabio Fognini. These 4 players, in my opinion, are the best players in the world to defeat themselves and to give presents away for free to his opponents. So, Rafa Nadal has a great draw. He doesn't have any big names to his path. His first test will be against Stefanos Tsitsipas in the quarterfinal. And I believe that he will come through Stefanos Tsitsipas. Rafa Nadal loves facing one single-handed backhands, and he owns Stefan Tsitsipas in the head-to-head 6-1. So, but when he will be in the semi-final, I think that it will stop there for Rafa Nadal. That is my feeling. I don't know. Maybe I'll be wrong. So Rafa is on my number 4th place, my friends. On my number 3rd place, and I have to be honest, guys, here. From the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, these are the biggest prize. Even when you play team events, what can you win? You can win gold, silver, bronze. So these 3 players are players who has the highest numbers. It is bronze, silver, and gold. So it was not easy for me. I was analyzing, I was watching, and I was digging the draw. And in the end, I finally came to my decision, and I thought to myself, who will I put on my 3rd? And you have to be, like I said, as higher you are on these numbers, on the who is the higher on the quarterfinals appearance? Stefan Tsitsipas, he's in 5th place. And now I have semi-final stages, the 4th and the 3rd place. And who is the highest between the 4th and the 3rd place? Rafa is on my 4th place. Why? I believe less in him than the player that I will mention now on my 3rd place. And the player, who that player is, Novak Djokovic. And some of you maybe are surprised, why do I have the defending champion Novak Djokovic as on my 3rd place? The dude has won this tournament most of all the plays in history, 8 times. He has a 75-8 record in this event. He has won 75 matches and lost 8 matches during his all career. That's true, guys. That's true. I know all this. I had Djokovic winning this event back in 2019. He didn't prove me wrong. He proved me right. I had Djokovic winning this event back in 2020. He didn't prove me wrong. He proved me right. But I don't know. I just have the feeling that Novak Djokovic, he still is really good. He is world number 1 for a reason. He looked pretty sharp in ATP Cup. But I don't... To defeat Denis Shapovalov like he did in straight set, that is not the highest measure for me. That is not. He looked good against Denis, but who doesn't look good against Denis? To defeat Denis straight sets doesn't mean you will defeat Thiem or you will defeat Medvedev. Denis, Thiem and Medvedev are much better players than Denis Shapovalov. Then he played against Alexander Sasha Zverev. He defeated him in 3 sets. Did he look impossible? Did he look unbeatable against Alexander Sasha Zverev in that ATP Cup match? Novak? No, he didn't. So I believe that Djokovic is really, really beatable in this year's Australian Open. He is not 23, 24, 25, 26 years old anymore. His shot tolerance is not as good as it used to be. His cardio is not as good as it used to be. His consistency from the baseline is not as good as it used to be. His stamina, even though stamina and cardio is the same thing, but you're getting my point. He is much bigger in danger here in these hardcore slams than he will be in Wimbledon a couple of months from now. His first test will be against Alexander Sasha Zverev. I know he's leading the head-to-head 5-2 against Alexander Sasha Zverev, but Sasha Zverev, he can trouble Djokovic. He really can do. And Djokovic, his first opponent is a French dude, Chardy. He will not have any big troubles against him. He can potentially face Wawrinka or Raonic in a 4th round match, potentially. He owns Raonic 11 love, 11-0, call it what you want. Raonic has never defeated Novak Djokovic. And Wawrinka, he leads 19-6. So he owns pretty much Wawrinka as well. But 4 of these victories out of 6 times that Wawrinka has defeated Djokovic, it has actually been in slams. I know Wawrinka is not the same dude as he used to be. He's 35 years old nowadays, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But Djokovic is not super young either. He's 33 years old. So if Wawrinka can make it to that 4th round clash, he can trouble Djokovic. I don't think he will take out Djokovic, to be quite honest. I just don't think so. Stan Wawrinka. But you never know. You never know. Then, Raonic, if he faces Raonic in a fourth round match, I think that Djokovic loves big serve guys. He's such a good returner. He does such great returns. He's still the best returner in the game. But I think that Djokovic will win his 5 first matches. I think so. But then in the semi-final, he will play against Dominic Thiem, I believe. That's my feeling. And against Dominic Thiem, yes, he leads the head-to-head 7-5, Djokovic. Yeah. I'm sorry, 7-5. But the last 7 meetings, Dominic has won 5 of those 7 meetings, guys. We should not forget that. So the last 7 meetings between Djokovic and Thiem leads 5-2. So that should not be forgotten. Of course, that the match between Djokovic and Thiem can go either way. Of course. Of course, it can go either way. What can you expect when the world number 1 faces the world number 3? But I have the feeling that if Thiem gets himself to that semifinal, which you never know with Dominic Thiem, he can be a hit or miss player. He can be a Christmas present as well. I don't care what Thiem has done in the ATP Cup. He lost to Berrettini. I don't care. I don't give a damn about that. Thiem is a big tournament player. Maybe he's not a big final player. He has lost more big finals than he has won. I believe he has lost 7 big finals and only won 2. But Thiem, before the big events, I never go too deep and analyze his game too much. I've seen this in the past. I remember last year he lost the first round in Cincinnati and went and won the US Open just 2-3 weeks later. It doesn't matter anything that Thiem has lost to Berrettini. Doesn't matter anything to me. Thiem needs to play matches the first couple of rounds. He needs to hit himself in shape, and he will have time to do it. He doesn't have the hardest draw, in my opinion, Dominic Thiem. He has Diego Schwartzman as the highest seed as a quarterfinal opponent. I don't think that Diego Schwartzman will even be in that quarterfinal. Diego Schwartzman is a clay court specialist, not a hard court specialist. Diego Schwartzman doesn't have the biggest serve in the tour. Diego Schwartzman, he likes to defend. It is hard hitting through Diego Schwartzman, but that is the case on clay, not on hard courts. On hard courts, you can hit through Diego Schwartzman much easier. So I don't think Diego will be in that quarterfinal to begin with. So, and Thiem can face Jannik Sinner in a quarterfinal appearance. I believe they have never faced each other before. So, Dominic Thiem, he has a good draw. Djokovic doesn't have the greatest draw, in my opinion. Djokovic has a tough draw, guys. He can face potential Stan Wawrinka if Stan is in the 4th round, which I doubt he will be. I don't trust in Stan nowadays. He has become Santa Claus as well. You never know where you have that dude, especially not this late in his career. But you never know. If Stan is in that 4th round, Djokovic will be there. I know that. You never know. He can upset Djokovic. I will not be shocked. I would not be shocked if he did that. But I don't count that he will do it. I'm not counting with that. And in a quarterfinal between Djokovic and Zverev, if he serves bombs, if he lands a lot of first serves in, if he's consistent from the baseline, he can trouble Djokovic. He can do that. He has defeated Djokovic before 2 times, never in slams. They have faced each other on slams actually only once, Djokovic and Zverev, and it was back in 2019 French Open quarterfinal. Djokovic won in straight sets. But anyway, I have Djokovic on my 3rd place. He can still win the tournament. I will not be shocked. I will not be surprised. I'm taking a little risk here. But I just have I have the feeling that Djokovic will not win Australian Open for the 3rd straight year. I don't know. I have that feeling. He has won Australian Open only 1 time in his career in the past 3 straight years. And that was back in 2011, 2012, and 2013. But back then he was 23, 24, 25 years old. Now he's 33 years old. So will he win Australian Open for the 2nd time for consecutive 3 straight years in his career? I don't think so, man. I just don't think so. Maybe I'll be wrong. I don't know. Maybe I will be wrong. I will not be shocked, I will not be surprised if Djokovic proves me wrong. Surely will not be surprised. But I just have the feeling that Dominic Thiem, if he wins 5 matches, because you never know with Dominic Thiem, you never know. I know that Djokovic will be in the semi-final. I'm pretty confident about that prediction. But I'm not super confident about Thiem. You never know with Thiem. You never know. Djokovic is not a Christmas present like Thiem is. Djokovic plays high percentage of tennis. Thiem plays low percentage of tennis. Thiem takes big cuts on the ball. Thiem takes more risks on the ball. Djokovic doesn't. Djokovic is a player who defends a lot, who waits for his opponent to do mistakes, who can also make winners. Of course he can make winners, but he isn't the most, say, offensive player on the tour. Thiem is much more offensive than Dominic Thiem. And then Djokovic, and that also costs. So Thiem does a lot of unforced errors, much more than Djokovic, but Thiem also does much more winners than Djokovic. So you never know with Thiem, but if Thiem is in that semi-final, I think he has a great chance of defeat. I think it is better for Thiem to face Djokovic in a semi-final than in a final. Yeah, I know Djokovic has actually never lost the Australian Open semi-final either. When Djokovic has been in a semi-final Australian Open, he has always won the event, if I'm not mistaken. So Djokovic is 8-0 in semi-finals and finals in Australian Open. But I just think that for Thiem's nerves, it is better for Thiem to face Djokovic in semi-final. That is just my feeling. So Thiem's chances to defeat Djokovic in Australian Open is higher in semi-final than that would be the case in the final. We all know what happened last year in Australian Open final. Thiem pushed Djokovic to the limit, but in the end he just lost a tight 5-setter. So I have Djokovic on number 3rd place. I think that he will be knocked out against Dominic Thiem in the semi-final. Then on our 2nd place, so who do I believe will win this event? So now we have only 2 dudes left, guys, on this top 8 list. On our 2nd place, guys, here it comes, guys. Here it comes. I have Daniil Medvedev. Yeah, I think Daniil Medvedev, he can go to a Australian Open final. He has never been this deep like I'm predicting. He has been 2 times as deepest 4th round appearances, 2019 and 2020. But I believe that Daniil Medvedev is in the shape of his life. I believe Daniil Medvedev, he didn't have the most greatest season last year, but he had a great end of the season, won 10 straight matches, won the Paris Masters and the ATP Tour Finals in London. And his confidence is sky high. He has a great draw. He has Rublev as a quarterfinal opponent who he owns 3-love in the head-to-head. He has actually never dropped one single set against Andrei Rublev. And then he can potentially face Rafa Nadal in a semi-final. And we know he defeated Rafa Nadal last time they faced each other. Yeah, I know it was an indoor match. He can lose to Rafa Nadal, absolutely. But I'm thinking that the last 3 meetings between these 2, Rafa and Medvedev, on hard courts, indoors, you call it what you want, it had been close battles. In US Open back in 2019, Medvedev almost took Rafa Nadal down. We all know that in that final. He was up in the break, up with the break in that 5th set. And then he had one match point I believe, in that match, in that ATP Tour Finals round robin match back in London 2019. And last year he defeated Rafa Nadal in the semi-final in the same tournament, ATP Tour Finals in London. So this shows to me that Medvedev, he knows how to play Rafa Nadal off clay. And Rafa Nadal isn't impossible to defeat off clay. We know that. We know that. Medvedev is a hard dude. It is not easy hitting through him. He moves really good to be a tall dude. He's, I believe, 6'6" feet tall. So he has a great serve. He has great ground strokes. He doesn't do many unforced errors. He can play offensive tennis. He can play defensive tennis. Sometimes his forehand can go to vacation. I believe his forehand does let him down much more than his backhand. His backhand is super solid, rock solid. He has great returns. He's one of the best returners in the game, guys. Djokovic, of course, is the best returner in the business, and then maybe actually Medvedev is second behind Djokovic. So, and he's in great shape. He's young. He's talented. He's consistent from the baseline. He has a great draw. He can do big damage in Australian Open, and I think that. And when he will face Rafa Nadal in that semi-final, if Rafa is there, which I believe Rafa will be, you never know with Rafa either. He has a difficult quarterfinal match against Stefan Tsitsipas, who, by the way, is looking really sharp. Stefan Tsitsipas. I think that Medvedev will come through Rafa Nadal. That is my feeling. Maybe I will be wrong. So I believe we'll have. So Medvedev is my number 2 player on this list, and my number 1 player is Dominic Thiem. I believe Dominic Thiem. He is on his shape of his life. He is 27 years old. His ground strokes are super heavy. He can do sometimes a lot of unforced errors, I know, but he does a lot of winners as well. He has a huge forehand, great backhand. Sometimes his backhand can go to vacation, but he has a great down the line backhand. He has a really underrated serve. His returns needs to be improved, but he has started to improve his returns, Dominic Thiem. And Grand Slam events, big draw events fit Dominic Thiem because he needs matches. He needs to come into shape. If Djokovic, if Nadal, if Medvedev face Dominic Thiem in the first round, they will beat him. But when Dominic has won 5-6 matches and he has taken himself deep into the tournament, he is deadly dangerous. He is deadly dangerous, guys. Dominic and Medvedev, they faced each other in that ATP final in London. We all remember Medvedev was the stronger one, but in my opinion, Dominic was the better player in the first 2 sets. But he didn't take his opportunity when he had them in that second set. So he should have been the winner in that match, in my opinion. Straight sets victory. Thiem should have defeated Medvedev in that final in London last year. So I believe Dominic Thiem raises this trophy. That's why I have him as my number 1. So a quarterfinal match we will have between Thiem and Sinner. I believe Thiem will defeat Sinner. They have never faced each other before. And then Nadal, Tsitsipas. I think Nadal takes down Tsitsipas. The head-to-head is 6-1 to Rafa Nadal. Rafa just loves facing one single-handed backhands. He just kills those single-handed backhands. He punishes those single-handed backhands. He attacks those single-handed backhands. He penetrates those single-handed backhands. And I think Rafa defeats Stefan Tsitsipas in the quarterfinal. And then we have Djokovic, Zverev. I think Djoko takes down Zverev. The head-to-head is 5-2 to Djokovic there. And then we have Medvedev, Rublev. The head-to-head is 3-love to Medvedev there. Rublev has actually never taken one single set against Medvedev. And then semi-final matches will be between Djokovic and Thiem. The head-to-head is 7-5 to Thiem, to Djokovic. But like I said, the last 7 meetings, Thiem leads 5-2. So I think Thiem comes through Djokovic in the semi-final, and then we have Medvedev, Nadal. The head-to-head is 3-1 to Rafa Nadal, but like I said, the last 3 encounters they have faced each other off clay. It has been really close battles, and the last one they faced each other, Medvedev defeated Rafa. So I think Medvedev takes down Rafa in the semi-final, and then we have Thiem, Medvedev. The head-to-head is 3-2 to Thiem. And I think this will be the final. I think that the change of guard is happening slowly. I just don't think that we will have a Djokovic-Nadal final. Can it happen? Of course it can. But they are not 25 years old anymore, guys. They are not at the peak of their careers. They are older, they are slower, and they are even getting more injuries. Because as older you get, as more injuries you get. Look at Rafa, stiff back. It is always something, and we will see more and more injuries in Nadal and in Djokovic because they are getting older and older. So I think we will have a final between Dominic Thiem and Daniil Medvedev, and I think that Dominic Thiem will lift the trophy in the end and will win his 2nd Grand Slam title. But I will not be shocked, I will not be surprised if Medvedev proves me wrong and if Djokovic proves me wrong. I strongly believe I truly, truly, strongly believe the trophy will be lifted. The trophy will be won by one of these top 3 players. Djokovic on my 3rd place, Medvedev on my 2nd place, and Thiem on my 1st place. The other 5 dudes can win it. Can Nadal win it? Absolutely. Can Tsitsipas win it? Absolutely. Can Zverev win it? Absolutely. Can Rublev win it? Absolutely. Can Sinner win it? He can win it, but I will be most shocked and surprised if Sinner wins it out of these 8 players that I've mentioned on my list. But the players I believe in the most are the players who are on my top 3 players. Djokovic on my 3rd place, Medvedev on my 2nd place, and Thiem on my 1st place. And then some dark horses. I always finish my videos with some dark horses. And I have 5 ones. PCB is, and the dark horses as well. As higher you are, on my 5th place as a dark horse, I have Kokkinakis. He has a big hit. He hits the ball big, he hits the ball hard, he has a big serve. He's from Australia, and Australian dudes always make some noises when they play on their home country. Kokkinakis, he has been injured for so many years, but he has a big game, he can make some noise. I have him as a dark horse, as on my 5th place. Then on my 4th place as a dark horse, why not Kyrgios? We all know that Kyrgios is super talented with that serve, with that forehand, with that great hands that he has. Kyrgios on my 4th place as a dark horse. On my 3rd place, Alcaraz. Alcaraz is a baby Nadal from Spain, guys. He won 2-3 challenges last year. He's the youngest dude on this draw, if I'm not mistaken. He can make some really good noise and high noise on this event. I will not be shocked if he wins 2-3 matches, Alcaraz, in this event. Baby Nadal from Spain. And my 2nd, on my 2nd place as a dark horse, Humbert from France. He can do some noise. He actually is on the same path as Dominic Thiem. He can face Dominic Thiem in the potential 3rd round, if I'm not mistaken, if I look the draw correctly. And he can do some huge noise, Humbert, guys. I will not be shocked if Humbert takes out Thiem in 3rd round. You never know. He has some great hands, great forehand, great serve, great net game. He won 2 titles last year, Humbert. He can do some huge noise. And I have Humbert on my 2nd place out of 5 dark horses. And on my number 1 place as a dark horse, PCB, Pablo Parena Busta. He can do some big damage, guys. He has a big game, and that's why he is my number 1 dark horse of these top 5 dark horses that I have. So guys, there you have it, guys. This was the draw. These were my thoughts about this year's first Australian Open tournament. I can't wait for the finale to start. I'm so much looking forward to this. I think it will be a huge event. I think it will be big matches. I think we'll have many upsets. And let's see, guys, let the best man win. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace.